All right, welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Voligen. I'm here with Rufus, and we're going to be bringing you the next matchup today. We've got from the Ginso Tree group for the second straight match, Brynhold versus Pix. And Rufus, my co-commentator today, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. It's kind of always exciting to when you get to the weekends and you just get a bunch of matches right in a row. So we've already had three this morning. We've got I think four more coming up after this. So it's an exciting afternoon. So yeah, today we have Brynhold, and he's going to be going up against Pix. I don't know if you'd like to maybe talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, for sure. So two runners kind of on the opposite ends of spectrum a little bit. Brynhold, a very experienced all skills runner. Pixel actually also very experienced as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But Brynhold, one of the top, say 30-ish runners. He's got a PB in the 33-minute range. Very skilled runner, very creative runner. He's done a lot of interesting kinds of challenge playthroughs. I believe he's completed the game without acquiring Feather, uh, because because why not? Actually came up with the trick rocket jumping that we use in the run in many different places now. Uh, Very skilled runner, and we'll be excited to see what's going to happen with him. On the other side, Pixel, his PB is in the 50-minute range. He's been around actually for a long time. He started running the game right after it came out, the vanilla version of Ori, that is. And he took a fair bit of a break. He's been gone for, nearly a year now, I think. But he's back, and he's really excited to participate in this tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting to see both these things go into play. With players like Brynhold, it's always super exciting to watch because they're just so creative, and you never know what you're going to learn and maybe able to implement into your own um, in your own gameplay. And then people like Pixel, who you said coming back after a long time, they can often appear almost like a kind of a dark horse story where you don't really expect them, and then also by the end of the tournament, they've really taken off and improved a lot. So it'll be fun to see what we have here today.
Yeah, that's very, very much for sure. We had a brief issue with the stats page there, as Pixel's, his hiatus has meant that we have a fog surrounding our knowledge of him, so we see nothing on his side of the screen. Brynhold, of course, as you see on the screen, he will be taking 6 health total over the course of the run. We'll be doing the new waterless route. He came back and managed to learn that, and also goes for stuff like fast stompless. Pixel, we're not 100% sure what we're going to see out of him because he's a mystery, but we will be getting underway shortly. And Rufus, what are you interested to see during this match?
I'm just kind of excited to see if what the players are able to show us. Kind of like you said, we don't have a ton of information on him really, so or at least on Pixel side. So it'll kind of be interested to see what strats he's going for, what his take is and everything. But here we go, we're underway, and so um, yeah, as we go into this, maybe would you like to talk about the first part of the game?
Yeah, of course, we're going to be making our way to the first skill, the Spirit Flame. Combining my words there, I almost want to say Spirit Vein, but that's not a thing. Uh, the ability that's going to allow us to shoot projectiles at enemies and take them out of our way. But first, got to do a little bit of running and jumping. Something that we often don't talk about during these races. Jumping along these slightly sloped surfaces is just like the tiniest bit faster. So that's why you're always seeing everyone jump at the beginning of the game. Otherwise, though, it's pretty much the same as just running. You see both of these runners allowing the Rhino to take an SD, as they would refer to it in Smash, and they're both getting to sign Spirit Flame at pretty much the same time here.
Yeah, it's pretty common to see him close this early in the game, and especially with how we have picks with running the vanilla version of the game. Nothing's changed too much up to wall jump. So our next ability here, which they're going to be heading off to now. Now that they have Spirit Flame, you'll see them take out a few of these Frankies here and kind of move their way on to the next skill.
Yeah, and as they're doing that, we did see a slight difference in how they're attacking the enemies. I believe Pixel is on controller, so you're seeing the shot pacing from him, whereas from Brynhold, you saw a little bit of the spamming of shots. I'm not sure whether or not Brynhold takes advantage of the mouse to be able to do that, but in either case, it's a very effective strategy on both sides. Brynhold taking a little bit of damage, Pixel dodging some, but they'll both want to take a little bit just to be able to set up their ghost door coming up.
Yeah. So uh, I think Pix is actually hybrid, actually. So he's probably using control now at the beginning, and maybe we'll see him switch over to KBM a little further on. So that's going to be interesting to see. But for the most part now, they're just kind of setting up this ghost, or like you said, making sure their health's correctly. You want to go down to 1 HP so that you can die as quickly as possible. As you see on Bryn's side right now, he sets up the save. He jumps into the water to die, and then he makes it to the door and without having to wait for the opening animation. And it also looks like he's opting to take this first health cell, which is pretty standard at this point.
Yeah, no big surprise here. It's mostly top tier runners who will skip this and Rainbow Poogle, but we will be seeing both runners making use of the 4 health just for extra safety as they go here. Then some nice precise movement. I always appreciate this movement in the early game in particular. This has evolved so much over the course of the years, so it's always fun to see how it's differed over time. And Brynhold has really gone through all iterations of it, and probably at this point so is Pixxel. So they're going to pick up this map keystone. They're going to make their way over to wall jump.
Yeah, kind of one of the next things to look for here is whether they're going to opt to level up on the way down or the way up from wall jump. So we'll have to be looking for that. It looks like on Brynhold's side, he is leveling up on the way down. And so that just kind of destroys the brambles there for when he comes back up. And same thing. Oh, no, Pixxel did not get the level, so he'll be hitting that on the way up. That destroys the brambles, that allows them to do the movement a little cleaner on the way up. So they're both approaching wall jump now. And you want to talk a little bit about how that's going to change things?
Oh, yeah. Well, now we can go up walls, as you might guess. But, something that's different about the wall jump in Ori compared to other games is that you can climb the same wall. You don't have to have, like, facing walls. So as you see there, Brynhold's able to scale this wall. Wall jumping in this game, pretty challenging to do optimally, as it turns out. You touch the wall and then you kind of grab onto it very briefly and then you start like sliding down. There's this weird effect there, and so it's very hard to do optimally, and that's often a significant difference between runners of different skill levels. You see Pixxel is getting that level up on the way out, and he's able to collect a ton of that experience that drops from those brambles, which is just a nice little thing to have. It depends on what your experience route is, but all runners are going to be needing to manipulate their XP count for a couple important skips later on.
Yeah, and so far both runners are playing great early game. No real big mistakes by any players, so it's still really close. And kind of going into dash is there when we start to get, I would say, expand the movement options a lot more. So maybe from there we'll see how each player is able to use dash to its fullest. So right now we have Brynhold walking into the next area where we get dash. And so the first trick you're going to kind of see here, you're going to see him go into the level up screen, and he manipulates the menu there to be able to move while he's in this screen, which allows him to save during the cutscene and skip that. So it looks like they both are getting that without too much problem and head into the next area.
Yep, and both runners also usually take this opportunity when they're in that ability menu to see what their experience count is at. It's pretty important to manipulate. Usually it's kind of free, quote unquote, to get the XP count you want, but you just need to make sure that it's going to be correct for an upcoming skip. We'll get to that, of course, but both runners not having any problems with that skip, and they're going to be entering BRB, where everything is terrifying and covered in spikes, particularly this pit here. All these spikes deal 3 damage, and if you fall in, you aren't getting out, so you go all the way back to that cutscene skip. Oh God. Okay, maybe not all the way back. Fortunately for Brynhold, he made that save right before the pit of terrifyingness, so that's less bad than it could have been.
Yeah, I don't think that's a common save point, but it can be really helpful in a situation like this, especially when you get experience right after, and I can get that level up and get all your energy back anyway. So it really doesn't cost him anything to go for that. So smart decision by him to do that. And just like that, the race is really close once again. We have Pix with a slight lead, but who knows if and just like that, he survives that. So a quick dip of his toes into the spikes there to see if they were really dangerous, and finding they were, he decided to jump out.
Yeah, that's really tough to get out of those spikes. Brynhold and Pix both going for that save on that top ledge there. This is a cycle manipulation. All these platforms in Blackroot Burrows are cycle-based, and when they save and reload, it resets the cycles to something that is a little bit more ideal for what they're looking for. All the cycles in Blackroot Burrows, these platforms moving up and down, they're all 8 seconds. So doing that little reload there overall saves something like 3 seconds or something. It's not very much, but it's enough to be worth it. So both runners going for it, and they're making their way into this last room here where they got one more skip coming up.
Yeah, and just like that, they're almost done with Blackroot. Just have to get past one more laser. Usually not too many problems happen here. And then, like you said, they're going to skip the cutscene here by doing another save anywhere where they level up during the cutscene animation, and then we'll be getting dash.
Ooh, that was a very, very close jump for Pixxel there as he nearly just fell off the edge of that platform, but fortunately he's all right and made it up to the lever.
Yeah, and there's the cutscene skip for Pixxel.
Yep, he's gonna wait until a specific point in this cutscene, learn an ability, there it is. He's gonna exit and reload. Brynhold doing the exact same. Looks good on both sides. Pixxel got it. There is a possibility to get a bad version of this skip where it doesn't light up, but they both got it, they're both fine, and they're collecting dash.
Yep, so they're going to dash, and now I think this next part is the part that really was like just so mind-boggling to me when I first learned of the speedrun of this game, seeing just how fast and early and easy the sequence breaks were. So they're going to do the Frankie walk, which is, I think, both famous and infamous in its own way. But they're going to go up here, grab a Frankie, and take it with them to the energy door here to the right. And the reason for that is when they kill him, they can do another timed level up, kind of like we've been talking. They've been managing their experience, and that will allow them to regain a level, which will refill their energy and allow them to go through the door early and get to double jump faster than they normally would be able to.
Yep. It's a very big sequence break. Definitely not intended to be coming this way this early. Both runners having to kite this Frankie across all this ground. Pixxel, of course, with intimate memories of this, I'm sure, from Vanilla, where it was a much harder trick. But he's going to get the kill on the Frankie, collects the XP, levels up, does not get the skip. Oh. Pixxel scaring the crap out of us there. He does get the skip. This is still a terrifying section. They're in the death gauntlet.
Oh,
no. Oh,
yeah, and it's called the death gauntlet, like you said, for a reason. Any small movement mistake there, and you're already at 1 health, and so anything can kill you. As you see in the replay there, he just accidentally climbed the wall instead of jumping up correctly, and the Frankie hit him. And just like that, Brynhold's in the lead, and he's going to be jumping down into Moon Grotto.
That's right, and he is probably going to be going for this early cycle here. There's these crushers that, again, move on a cycle. What he's going to do is try to get a precise dash timing into here. Oh, he does not quite climb that platform properly, so he ends up not being able to get the dash he needs. So he won't get it, but it's only 8 seconds and not a huge deal. Certainly, unfortunately, compared to the likely minute that Pixxel lost to the Frankie walk, which taking his second attempt here, hopefully going to be okay in the death gauntlet. Again, it is a very scary section. Brynhold is also going to be going for a ghost door here. This is an intentional death, don't panic. And now focus your attention on Pixxel's side as he gets into the death gauntlet again.
Yeah, let's see how he does this time. So he takes out the slime. He's down to 1 health again, so he'll just have to be careful on his movement. He gets past the Frankie that took him out last time, but it's not over. He still has to clean out these brambles, and he's opting not to go for the death glide, which I don't blame him for. I don't know if he does that normally or not. It can be very dangerous. So, but he just wants to make sure he gets onto that next area, and we'll see if he opts to put down a save here anytime soon. And there, he puts on a save, and he's safe. And on the other end, we have Brynhold who just got double jump and is on his way out.
Yeah, so we had some really nice movement from Pixxel there as well, while Brynhold was doing his blind double jump movement. Looks like Pixxel did not opt to go for the grotto cycle, or if he did, he just missed his jump timing up the wall. But in either case, it's fine. No difference in time there. Brynhold collecting the energy cell, his 3rd or 4th or whatever, some number. And now going for grotto skip and a very clean first try. This is pretty typical of what we expect from Brynhold. His execution of some of these types of tricks is extremely consistent and effective, so it's always cool to see.
Yep, and on his side, you just saw him do a save anywhere to stop some rocks from spawning, and now he'll be doing this climb section. So like Vuligen mentioned earlier, a lot of times it just kind of looks like there's not much going on, but the precision in the jumps, and especially some of these longer jumps, like you just said, him do that double jump on that side of the wall, actually are quite precise and take a lot of skill to do. So great movement there from him.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, I know from personal experience, you know, wall jumping up those walls in Moon Grotto on the way out of here is incredibly hard. A lot of top runners consider this one of the hardest segments of the game, and it's early on before you even get all the crazy movement tech. But Brynhold doing it pretty well. Pix seems to be doing all right coming out of double jump as well. And we're going to be seeing Brynhold head to the first of 1.5 dungeons, the Ginso tree.
Yeah, Ginzo Train, a lot of people's favorite dungeon because of the Ginzo Escape, which look, I mean, maybe we don't know. Maybe Pixel does go for that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But at least on Brynhold's side, he does do the clean water or skip the clean water route, so we'll be seeing him do that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it'll be pretty likely that we see that coming out of Pix as well. It seems like he's learned most of the newer strats, so he'll probably have the new route down as well, particularly given when he came back. Brynhold picking up this ability cell is going to be important for later. Need ability points to collect various abilities that we're going to use. Very nice dash glide jump over that Frankie. I thought he was about to run into it for a second, but he's fine. And you now see Pixel also collecting the water vein, the key to the Ginso tree, which will be needed to enter that dungeon. The deficit as of double jump, it was about 1:10 in favor of Brynhold. And, obviously with the PB difference, you do expect some of that to happen. Oh, Brynhold having a very tough time with that slime. But what we'll mostly be looking for going forward is for Pixel to have a solid race and Bryn to have a solid race. And I mean, there's always the anything can happen type of thing, but by and large, we don't really want a runner like Brynhold to have, potentially up to 17 minutes worth of mistakes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how both these go forward with this race, and hope that they can both have the best race they can have. So Brynhold just entered the Ginzo tree now, so he's climbing up through there, and then we have Pix as well, just heading out in that direction. So.
Yep, chugging along here. Again, as mentioned, this movement's very difficult, and Brynhold, of course, in the Ginso tree, very similar type of vertically oriented movement that is really challenging. Good job navigating that room with the those platforms and the Geemers, named after the Super Metroid enemies. It's a very challenging room to deal with, and he manages to make a very quick work of it without having too much trouble. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in there. Same in this little teleporter room we saw in the last race. It gave some trouble to one of our runners, or actually, I guess it was 2 races ago. But anyway, it was fine for Brynhold because he is a professional.
Yeah, and so now he's in this puzzle room. The next room's going to be against the mini boss. Just quick puzzle here. She doesn't look like he'll have any problem with that. We see he did do the color code there, so that's always fun. He decided to be the same color as the projectiles and the enemies, so hopefully he doesn't get confused there.
Unfortunately, he doesn't get much say in that. You press the color code and you get a random color. Pixel making his way into Ginso, entering the tree at the same time that Brynhold is doing this mini-boss. Random spawn locations for this mini-boss out of 5 in the room. There is a 1-frame tell in a 60 FPS game, so there's 0.016 seconds to see where he's going to spawn. Brynhold actually did a very solid job of anticipating that.
Yeah, and he didn't get any too tricky of spawns either. They were mostly what you'd want from the spawns there.
Oh, baby. We just saw some telehops from Pixel. That was very well executed.
Yeah.
Quick way of navigating that room there.
Yeah, telehops are very difficult tricks, so it's awesome to see, as you can kind of see in the replay there, and no problem got a first try, so that's going to save him a little bit of time on that section.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to deal with that room in that particular way, because otherwise it's very annoying. We're also seeing the Mr. Asmus cycle from Pix, so clearly he studied up on the game, and it's really cool to see. But Brynhold right now is picking up Bash, and Rufus, remind us on how awesome Bash is.
Yeah, Bash is really the move or the skill that sets this game apart. It really changes just on a fundamental basis how this game is played, and we're obviously going to be using it a lot here, not only to propel ourselves forward in the direction we need to go, but actually here to destroy projectiles and to fight enemies. So.
Yep, and we're making immediate use of it, as everyone sees. This is one of the joys of watching Ori speedrun. There's so much, excitement. And one of the cool things about Bash is that it encourages you to specifically throw yourself towards enemies, which is not something that you can say in any other game, really. Brynhold is setting up for his key duplication, where he needs to die while near that door. He is close enough to put the keystones in. That gets him the successful duplication, so good job. He's got 3 extra keystones now that he's going to be able to use later on, and that was very clean. He did take a little carefully, but that just meant he was not going to have any issues with it. So just don't want to make sure that you don't lose any serious time to that.
Yeah, and you can't blame runners for that. It's something I do all the time. That's an area that just if you're just a few pixels too far to the left, then you can just die and have to redo the key dupe altogether. So he got a first try, and he's going on, and he's he's done with Ginzo. He's on his way out. So do you maybe want to talk a little bit about the swamp entry that we got coming up?
Yeah, so we're going to see this very difficult trick coming from Brynhold shortly, and from Pixxel in just a little bit. Normally, we would have exited the Ginso tree by using the escape, which is a lot of fun, has great music, but now we're doing this. You've seen this a couple times today, certainly. Brynhold is going to go collect a frog near the entry to Swamp and use its projectiles to break in, and the tough thing about this is it's a very precise sequence of bashes to manipulate the frog's position and then also to manipulate the projectile. It also looks like he's intentionally allowing these lasers to spawn. You can use a save glitch like we do with most other cutscenes to skip that cutscene, and that prevents the lasers from spawning, but also forces you to do some blind movement, and only saves 1 second. So a lot of runners don't really like the blind movement. They'll prefer to do it this way. But here we go, using a double bash there very effectively to get the frog over into this position, and now he's going to do a little bit of jumping, get that projectile in the right spot, a double bash, another, he tries for another double bash, but he gets the entry, and he's in cleanly, just needs to avoid dying to the Rhino, and he does. So there we go.
Yeah, beautifully done. And now here he's where he would be after the Ginzo escape if he would have opted to do that. The only difference is the water, while it appears nice and blue, is actually still dirty, so he's got to make sure it stays away from that, as he will take damage from the poison water. And he's on his way up to get Stomp. And on the other side, we see Pix. He just finished the Ginzo boss there. No problem there. And so he's also on his way towards injuring Swamp early.
Yep, Pix having a very clean play as well so far, aside from that one death to Frankie Walk. He has been doing really well and could potentially be on PB pace, but we'll get updates on that as we go. Meanwhile, Brynhold having collected Stomp, great skill to be able to use to travel downwards, but for now, there's not a huge number of opportunities to use it, so we're mostly going to be seeing it later on. He'll also be coming upon his Kuro cutscene skip in just a little bit, very precise bash to be able to skip a cutscene. But first, he needs to use this frog to collect an ability cell. This is another fun sequence of bashes that's very easy to have go wrong, but fortunately, he's all good with that. And Pixxel coming upon his swamp entry as well.
Yep, he is. So it'll kind of, I guess, try to see on both ends here we have.
Ooh, wow.
That was barely surviving there.
Yeah, that was scary.
The frog, he's kind of bring the frog more over. And then Brynhold's side, he actually did not get the Kuro cutscene skip. So we're seeing the bird over there.
Well, that's 17 seconds that Pixxel will definitely appreciate. Oh no, his... Whew, that looked like a trash bash, unfortunately, which is where Pixxel unfortunately released the analog stick with just not quite good timing on his bash, and it caused the shot to not go the direction he wanted. Brynhold is collecting this extra HP that he talked about collecting, so this will put him at 5 health right now and make Sorrow Bash a lot easier in just a bit.
Yeah, it's always super comforting to come to Sorrow's Bash, which you'll see here in a second, and to have 5 health, because it just gives you that room for just mistakes that normally would end up in a death. You can end up surviving, and then Pix gets into Swamp, and so a couple deaths there, but altogether not too bad, and so he's on his way in there and to get stomped.
Yeah, Swamp entry. I thought I said Stomp entry, but I did say Swamp entry. It is kind of Stomp entry as well, but Swamp entry is one of the hardest tricks in the run route, right up there with Sorrow Bash. You have to do a lot of bash position manipulation of enemies. It's basically just as difficult as that trick.
Yeah, and kind of when you mentioned the bash manipulation there, it's one of those things that a lot of times as a viewer, it's harder to see all the little nuances that are going on, but just to make sure you're at the correct height when the shot's fired and to make sure that they can reach the height it needs to is quite complicated. So it is definitely a difficult trick. And we have Bryn now entering in Valley of the Wind. He's going to be stomping here to be able to open the gate, and then he's going to be on his way up to do fast stomp. So that's kind of the next big trick that's coming up on his side of the screen.
Yeah, we're coming through a section of a lot of very densely packed action here, and Brynhold is doing a very interesting thing right now. So this is something I didn't realize he was going to do, and I'm not sure that this was in like the questionnaire or anything, but he's carrying a save anywhere all the way from the entrance of Valley, basically, up here, to be able to learn Charge Dash? Well, he isn't learning it. but he's carrying it all the way through Fast Stompless. This might be for like a few second time. No, he learns it here. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and this is one of the things we kind of talked about, Brynhold being really creative and kind of an innovator in this way. So interesting to see this new kind of setup. And he gets Fast Stompless first try. So he got Fast Stompless. He's already leveled up, or already leveled up Charge Dash, so he doesn't have to worry about doing that here. I don't know if do you think his energy levels will be high enough for him to just go straight into Fast Stompless then?
Yeah, no, that because he did that save anywhere, he should have full energy, I believe, which means that allows him to skip saving here. He's already learned Charge Dash. He can just go straight up into Sarabash. Pixxel just collecting the 5th energy and is going to be coming into Charge Flame, but right now is the moment to watch Brynhold as you see the rocket jumps, the trick that he came up with early in the life cycle of Definitive Edition. He is going to throw down a safety save here, but now he's back at full energy, so he's good to go, and we're going to see a Sarabash from him.
Yep, he gets that first double bash, and that looks good. So now just kind of lure the bird in. One more dash, and yeah, very cleanly done, very nicely done. And he's into Sorrow's Pass. So great job from him. And then on Brynhold's side, he got Charge Flame, and he's on his way up to Sorrow as well.
Yep, and we're going to see the, from him, we are going to see the cutscene skip at the Spirit Tree again, as we did on Brynhold's side. And Brynhold making his way up to the top here. He's going to set up that save right there. That's going to be for his Terra Break. It's kind of hilarious to me that he did a save anywhere through the entirety of Valley of the Wind, but won't carry one from that save through the Dorito Cave here.
Sure.
I love Brynhold.
Yeah, I guess at this point, he's opting just to go back to the save on the way out and do the Terra Break that way. So we'll see him go back into the Save Anywhere screen there in a second, and then do the Terra Break.
Yep, and he's actually gonna set it up here at this save that he used for the Ghost Door, which makes sense because his other one got removed when he did that. But a much shorter trip through the Dorito Cave, as we've started calling it. Saves right under the ceiling there, takes the death while in the charge jump state, and the game somehow remembers that. Not a very cooperative laser cycle for him, so he waits just a moment. And oh, no, Pix on the other side, unfortunately, having a short dash there and falling into the spikes. And that's depths on Valley of the Wind send you all the way back to the Spirit Well, pretty much. It's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate one. He just barely didn't get over the ledge there. And so he's going to have to redo this short bit of movement. Before he can get up to Fast Stompless. If he does go for Fast Stompless, I don't know if he's just going to opt to do it the normal way or not.
Yep, we'll find out pretty shortly. Certainly, hopefully with no issues for him this time. As Brynhold's making his way out of Sara, he collected the Sunstone, the key to the final dungeon, which we will do approximately, I said half earlier, but even half is maybe strong. But yeah, we'll get there. For now, he's going to be dropping a safety save, never a bad play, and then he's going to be making his way down to Misty Woods, which is a really fun area, don't you think, Rufus?
Yeah, Misty Woods is awesome, and it's kind of exciting to note here as well. Brynhold is actually tied with his PB up until Charge Jump, and he hasn't really had any mistakes in movements since then, so I'm assuming he still is. And so kind of be interesting here. There's a lot of fast movement. This is kind of where you see all the skills we've gone up until this point really being combined and put together to really optimize Ori's movement and see if he can make through without having too much problem.
Gonna interrupt you real quick because we got the Fast Stompless attempt from Pixxel, which unfortunately he did not get the shot. Might have been off slightly, but yeah, I gotta echo everything that you said, and it looks like Pixxel will just give up on the trick. He tried it once, no problem. He'll just go stomp the thing for real. And I think the interesting point about Misty is that we've been talking about, I was really happy one of our new commentators brought this point up, I believe. You know, we talk a lot about tricks, Fast Stompless, Sorrow Bash, you know, Swamp Entry, coming up to this point, but in Misty, it's just movement. And Brynhold's movement has just been absolutely lovely here, so he's on a very, very good pace.
Yeah, and so kind of the first half, as the way I see it, is there's kind of two halves of Misty, and that's the first half up until you climbed, which is a skill he just got, and from there the game auto saves, and so from now it's kind of going from here. We'll see if he opts for any other safety saves. If not, though, he'll have to, if he makes any mistakes or that lead him to die, he'll have to go back to that. But he does have 5 health, so the spikes here in Misty do 3 damage, so he is safe from he's allowed a little bit of room there for error. But so far, yeah, we move it from him. And on the other side, we have Pixxel, and he's trying for Sorrow Bash.
Yeah, unfortunately, you mentioned room for error right as Pixxel hit this frog with his charge dash instead of rocket jumping, and unfortunately, there's no room for error on that one. If you miss the rocket jump for Pixxel, he's taking a death. But Brynhold, moving incredibly effectively through Misty, just in the time we talked, is already at the 4th keystone here, and is just blazing a path through here. Does drop a safety save. He has used stomp cancels to great effectiveness. That is a trick where you stomp out of a charge dash and it prevents you from using the energy. So he has like nearly full energy here. Very good job by Brynhold to make quick work of Misty and come up to this mini boss. And Pix using, oh, hold on. All right, 1 mini boss, 2 mini boss. There we go.
Yeah, a little bit of a kind of hit one, then hit the other strategy. And then with Pix over here, he's going right into the Sar's Bash. We'll see how he goes for that. Look, he's going for the 2-bird method. Gets off the first one. That bird's in a good position. That'll definitely work if he can just make sure it doesn't die. And yeah, oh, that's the worst. It's when you hit those spikes right there at the top because you were so close to making it. But
oh gosh, on Brynhold's side, meanwhile, he just took a whole bunch of damage. He's in a very tight spot right here. Manages to escape it. Yeah, Pixel's bird was just a little bit low. He gets it the second time, so he's into Sorrow and drops a save immediately to make sure that he will not have to go back to the bottom.
Yeah, so great on him getting it on that second try. And Bryn, like you said, almost taking a death there, but able to make it out. And he's coming back to Blackroot to get Light Grenade, which is the final skill that he'll get before going on to Horror to finish the game. And so I think we're probably going to see Terra Break as well from Pixxel there.
Yep, collecting that energy to make up for the one that he spent on the safety save, and now we're going to see one more rocket jump to... Oh, it was done, unfortunately. As Brynhold, once again, carrying a long save anywhere, all the way down to the grenade tree. This is one that I do even. It's nice to just get that save and not have to use another energy to save later. Oh, no.
Oh. Fortunately, he did make a save after doing Sar's Bash, so that kind of eliminates the room for having to get stuck on that trick again. And then on Brynhold's side, we have him coming up here on Light Grenade, which I don't know if you want to talk a second about that.
Yeah, Light Grenade, casually, it's a pretty straightforward ability. You throw a little bit of a little mini grenade thing. It deals some damage. You can actually bash off of it, which is really cool. That is totally useless in the speedrun. Instead, we use it for a completely different purpose where, as you see on Brynhold's side, you throw a grenade and then charge jump off a wall, and if you do that 1 frame apart, as he's going to get it, he refuses to be denied here, you get that. And that's called a grenade jump, and we're going to be using one of those in a little bit. Most of these only save like a second or two, but we're going to use one in a little bit to save about 35 seconds.
Yeah, one of those crazy time saves that happens right here at the end of the game. But he used a lot of his energy, so he's doing the rest of this climb out of Black Moon and towards this teleporter, kind of low on energy, but still opting to do a few grenade jumps here and there because why not, right?
Why not? And we did get word from the truck that Brynhold is 12 seconds ahead of his PB at Grenade, which definitely makes sense given what a blistering pace this has been. He's playing incredibly well. We're going to see how this goes. Pix has made the charge jump, did get through the Dorito Cave, sets up his save anywhere for the Terra Break, so he'll be doing that shortly. And Brynhold is making his way to Mount Horu, where we're going to see our favorite trick, Door Warp, as usual. Rufus, how do you think we're going to do on Door Warp?
I think the PB luck is here with Bryn today, so I'm going to go with the first try as my prediction. Hopefully he gets out. See if he does any more grenade jumps on his way over. A lot of players, especially on like this wall right here, not opting for it, will like to do grenade jumps there. But he's just going to do some charge jumps, some good old charge dashes with some stomp cancels. I think one maybe in there, and he's entering Horror, so it's time to see how he does on his Door Warp.
Yep, this is a very important trick. This it's about 4 seconds per attempt. You got to wait for this autosave, exit, reload your game, and press up on the first frame. Does Brynhold get it? No, unfortunately. But again, it's only 4 seconds per attempt, so he's got some room here.
Yep. And this is one of those moments when you're on PB pace like this, you're just really hoping you don't get infinite here. But third try, so with the 12 seconds he was ahead, that kind of puts him on par with his PB. So hopefully his movement's good enough here in the final escape for him to be able to still PB. But we'll see with that coming towards the end of the race here.
Yep, that's going to be it's going to be a very tight finish for Brynhold, but he's got some room to do this. Pixxel making his way down to Misty. He's just going to opt to stomp past all those birds. He's going to drop a safety save at the bottom. And here we go with the final escape for Brynhold.
Yep, and so Pix going through Misty, you'll see a lot of that same optimized movement we saw with Brynhold, so keep your eye on that. But really with Brynhold here, we'll want to see how we make sure you can get through the final escape without taking too much damage so we can get through the poison water at the end.
He took a very, very close call on that laser there. He opted to wait for it to recede before he went. But yeah, now here we go. We're coming up on that water. He's got 2.5 energy left, plenty for the grenade jump. He's got 6 health. That should be plenty for this swim. He looks pretty okay. He does take 5 damage. That's why he's got all 6 health. And here we go. A couple charge jumps up the wall. A grenade jump coming up. Brynhold could PB if this grenade jump is good. Here we go. First try. Beautiful job. That is going to be a PB for Brynhold. What an excellent finish and performance for him in this race. And he is going to come away with looks like a 33, 30 something or 40 something. Great job by him. GG. Yeah,
so we'll be kind of keeping your eye on there to see the final time there. But with Pixxel, we have him going through the end of this first half of Misty, as I mentioned earlier, and about to get Climb, which will then just leave him to get Light Grenade and make his way on the end. So I still think so far a great race by both players. And the final time there for Brynhold, we'll get that in a second. So 33-33.
Beautiful. Congratulations to him. That is a great time, a nice PB, and you know, one of those big milestones. Ooh, his Pix takes a little bit of damage. One of those big milestones for most players is cutting Ike Wolf's time. Ike Wolf, of course, one of the kind of legendary players of this game. He is incredibly good and always kind of was. And his time of 33-36, accomplished back in 2016, is still a really great milestone to achieve. So great job to Brynhold on achieving that.
Yeah, when like you said, Ike Wolf, when he was playing the game a ton back in that time, a lot of players he was the one they would look up for. So for him to be able to get that and cut that time is a great achievement, like you said.
For Pix, meanwhile, kind of the story for him today in this race, he's been playing pretty well, other than the Frankie walk death, which kind of just, like, sometimes that happens. So you kind of just throw that away and just be like, okay, whatever, that occurred. But kind of the story for him lately has been, he's got health, but he couldn't charge him by the spikes.
Yeah, he couldn't get the charge jump out. But luckily he did take a safety save here at the after getting that first keystone. So it doesn't set him back as much as it could have. So
yeah, and he's
a little bit of a setback, but he still can make it out here for good. So
yeah, and he's going for some really good strats here. He's going for a lot of charge dashes with some stomp cancels thrown in. So he's certainly not shying away from anything difficult.
Oh no,
that slime, dude. Everyone hates that slime, and unfortunately claims another victim.
Yeah, that is definitely one I think anyone who has practiced or done the Misty movement have fallen to. So definitely something that always gets in the way. And yeah, I think I would like to echo again what you said just about Pix really going for a lot of like just great strats here in Misty and really optimized movement. It's like really exciting to see and kind of shows that I think he's a player we're gonna see PBs and a lot of improvement as time as the tournament goes on.
All right, so again, we got the update from the truck, and by the way, Pixxel pulling off a rocket jump there. I'd actually been about to say earlier, one of the things he's had a lot of problems with in this race has been his rocket jumps. They've just been kind of fizzling a lot. So he pulled one off there, and that one's really nice to get. But we got the reminder from the truck, because my brain does not last like 30 entire seconds. Brynhold did not actually PB like he had his faster unsubmitted time that I just completely forgot about. But 33-33 is 7 seconds off his PB, so that's still very, very incredible.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Congrats on him. Like, I think consistency like that, being within 7 seconds of a PB in a tournament race like this, is definitely always something to be proud of. So great job, great race by him. And then I kind of like want to take a second to talk about what you were saying with Pix for a second there. Just like how he's still going for some of these strats, even though some of them were giving him problems. I always like respect when a runner does that, just because it's so easy in a tournament setting to kind of get nervous and and like start trying to go for new strats you usually don't go for, or things that like think they, oh, I'm not going to be able to make this strat anymore. And for him to see like to say still say, no, this is what I practice, this is the strat I do, and just to keep going for him, and then he's hitting him every once in a while. So I think he's doing a great job there with keeping up with what he's practiced.
Yeah, having the confidence to be able to go for the strats that are like your strats, like the ones you would do in PBs, that's really underrated. It's very easy to say like, okay, I'm going to kind of, I'm gonna cut off this strat because like it's just too risky, whatever. It's not working out for me. But it's another thing to say, you know what, like my PB, I go for this and it worked out for me, so I'm gonna go for it in the race too. And if it works out, then man, like that's great. And if it doesn't, at least you had the confidence to go for that. Like that's certainly something. And Pixxel coming in here, he's going to drop his save to do the save anywhere. Skip this old-fashioned father cutscene, which we are not really interested in watching. He does get the save there. He just needed to wait for the cutscene to start so he could reload.
Yep, and then no problem there. So he's on getting the last skill, light grenade, which just leads him to going towards Horus. So it'll be interesting to see if he throws any more grenade jumps on his way there, if he just goes for the one right at the end of the run. But he's got light grenade now, so he'll be heading towards Mount Horror to end the game. So
yep. And of course this section always pretty fun. You have all the techniques, but also it's just a straight dash to the end. There's no real we are seeing some grenade to jump attempts here from Pixxel. I think this is still on controller because I don't believe he switches totally. So that's pretty impressive. Grenade jumps on controller can be more challenging for some runners, but certainly for Pixxel, he's showing that he has the confidence to go for them.
Yeah, and so that's awesome and respectable by him. And he's going out here. I don't know. I believe he's still going to grab this this last life cell, I guess, here at the end. And I don't know if he'll also grab the one going into Horu Fields or not. But other than that, just making sure he has correct amount of life to be able to make it through the poison water at the end. A little bit of a pause there for some reason, I don't know, but yeah, he's making his way out, no problem there.
He just wanted a quick moment to take stock of the situation, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
On the left, we have Bryn playing around the prologue, I guess, a little bit.
we'll let that play while we focus on Pix as he is reaching the end here. He's gonna do some of this movement, some nice stomp cancels there, some charge dashes to quickly traverse the area, and he is skipping this last health cell. I believe he collected the 5th one from the spiders earlier, which means he is at 6, and that's usually plenty for most runners depending on their their confidence level. 7 is a great starter number. It's very, very hard to die in the final escape with 7. 6 is as long as you're confident you're swimming and not taking damage from the fish. Oh goodness, good save to not stomp directly into the lava. But yeah, 5 is really the number where that's more something that top runners will do. But 6 is a great number for pretty much most players.
Yep, and so here he is on his door warp. So we'll see how his luck goes there. What do you think? What are you thinking about this door? What's your prediction?
First try, let's go.
First try, let's go.
Okay,
not
maybe
quite.
Not. What I meant was third try. Let's go. Okay, I'm just yeah. So as always, we remind everyone this is a frame perfect trick on the first frame reloading into the game, and the Q is very difficult. But Pixxel does get it on his nth try, as usually commentators are very bad at counting door warps, so we'll just pretend that we got fifth according to the trucks. Thank you to them for providing that info to us.
Yeah, I was thinking it was 4, so it was a good thing I didn't say anything. And so yeah, all that's left for him is the final escape here. So make sure he doesn't take any damage, like you said. He does have a little bit of buffer room with the extra HP cells he's grabbed. So, but yeah, he's coming out of here. Has to wait a second there for the lava to pass.
Same issue that Brynhold had there.
Yeah. And yeah, he's on his way. Oh, he did take a hit. So yeah, he knows he's not going to make it through the water, so he just decides to die real fast so he can respawn at the beginning of the escape.
Yep,
and he's on his way again.
Yep, again, not shying away from these stomp cancels, throwing them in pretty much in all the places. He seems to have like, you know, strats, and he's going for them, and he's not saying, oh, let me not try for stomp cancels right now. He's just going for them. He seems very confident, which is always really cool to see.
Oh, barely not taking a damage there.
That was very, very scary, but he manages to hold on and buffer the bash in advance to not die. And here we come to the final part here.
Yeah, and the movement in that water was great, so he's on his way out, so all he has left between him and the end here is a grenade jump as he comes up this left side wall. Puts himself in position, and we'll see if he can get it. Oh, not the first try. But that's usually not too big of a problem. You can just reset it pretty easily. And he's still got a couple more energy, so.
Yep, you can basically try this all day. Fortunately, Kura's never going to spawn thanks to the glitch we did at the beginning here. And this input, as always, frame perfect, but he does get it.
Yep.
That is good. So he will finish up here.
Yep, so that was a successful attempt there, and he's on his way through, and so all he has left to hold right. Great race by both players. Really impressed by their play, so I think they did great.
Yeah, was really impressed by the play of both runners, and really entertained by you know, just both runners really doing some really fun stuff. Pixxel throwing in, you know, the stomp cancels and other stuff that is just really fun to watch, and Brynhold, of course, showing off you know, what a creative player he is.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at that to go back and see kind of what he did with that save anywhere in Valley. I thought that was interesting, as it's not a common one. And there we have his final time, 43:25. Not a bad time at all. Great appearance there for Pix. So congratulations to both players on their match.
Yep. And we'll see if Brynhold is interested in joining us, but you know, definitely a fun match to watch, and this will mean that Brynhold does improve his record. This is his first match. We'll get their standing shortly.
I believe it was first from both players. No, Brynhold maybe has done one. Yeah. Brynhold's done one, but this was Pixxel's first. So
I should learn to check on these things before starting to commentate on them.
Yeah, it's so. Oh. Yeah. So we'll see if he wants to jump in here for an interview.
Yep. So overall, really fun race to watch. Was there anything in particular, Rufus, that you know, really caught your eye, aside from, we've talked about the obvious, the really long save anywhere that Brynhold did, but was there any particularly cool thing that you saw on either side?
I was just kind of impressed. I guess this is also something we've also talked about, but just with Pix being able to go back and kind of keep doing those strats that he's tried even after having a couple trouble with them, and especially with like an early death with like Frankie walk like that. That's something that can throw a lot of runners off their mental game. But I thought he did great on keeping up and doing all the strats he's practiced and going great through all of that. And then Brynhold just really within seconds of his PB the whole time. So a solid race all around by him. I thought it was like there was no major mistakes that I saw on his side. So just really solid play the entire time.
Well, that is for sure. And speaking of the solid play of Brynhold, we are now joined by Brynhold in the call. And Bryn, congratulations on your victory today, and a very solid race and time. You know, what were your thoughts overall on your play, and how do you feel about, you know, your performance so far in the tournament?
Thanks. Well, it was kind of slow up to Jin's tree. I think I came there at the 13:0 time, I think. But apart from the Kuro cutscene, I think the rest of the run went pretty well. There was some bad grenade jumps, but I was basically practicing for the final escape, so.
Yeah, that's always fun to see pull out. I'm sorry, but I'm very amused that you are just like, oh yeah, I was pretty slow getting to Ginso with the 13 minutes. Like, your overall play was very fast the entire time. You know, in particular, I guess one thing that we wanted to ask about was the save anywhere going up to fast stompless. Where did that come from? Like, I don't remember if we saw this in your previous race against Skyfo, but like, what was your thought process to arrive at doing that? Because that seems awful to me.
Yeah, I did it in the last race as well, and you get one or like 3 safety saves from it. One at the stomping, and one in the middle of that section, and one up at the where you are gonna do the fast stompless trick. And after that, you have 5 energies, so you can just go and yeah. Well, it's nice to have 5 energy there, I guess. And the rocket jump is already leveled.
Yeah, is there any future plans to make that that save anywhere longer, or do you think it's good where it's at?
I guess you can. I haven't looked into it, but I guess you could skip a bit of the cutscene if you are. But I haven't looked at it. I think you can save a few seconds maybe.
Oh, jeez.
Sure.
But at what point is it not worth it?
Well, as long as you can do the movement well, then I guess it's worth it for me at least.
Oh my goodness. The words of a truly skilled player, spoken very nicely by Brynhold. As you see on the standing screen, Brynhold temporarily moves into possession of the top spot in this group. I only say temporarily because, of course, many of the other matches have not been played. So Brynhold, your last opponent in the group will be, of course, Shed, who you just saw race before, and he got a 30-52. What are your plans to handle that race, and how do you feel about that matchup?
Well, I see it like a chance to improve my tiebreaker time, if nothing else. And if Shed messes up, maybe I can get a win if I'm lucky.
Awesome. Well, best of luck on that match. I think that's going to be a really exciting one to look forward to. It looks like that one's scheduled for the 19th, so that's going to be on Monday. So make sure, let me see, even get the time on that at 4 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to tune in for that one because I think that's going to be an awesome race. Yeah,
that is for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Brynhold. And we are going to be wrapping things up with that. Rufus, I just want to thank you again for joining me here today for commentary. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, William. It was a lot of fun.
And we're going to wrap up the cast for now. The next race is going to be in another hour on this channel. It will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/speedgaming. So, you can go check some stuff out on some of the other speed gaming channels, or, go watch some other stuff, but make sure you come back at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have the Roos's Loose versus Mr. Randomson. And that is going to be a really fun match to watch, trying to combine those two words. But for now, I've been Voligen. I've been joined by Rufus, Brynhold, and Pix, your races today. And on behalf of Dudu and Poogle, our stat people, and Smashy, our restreamer, thank you all for watching, and come on back in an hour and we're going to have a good time. See you then.
Spend all of their bonus energy to do that sequence break. So Terra, oh no, Terra unfortunately takes a death there, but he did have a safety save down there. Looks like he has some very challenging movement, but it's where we're going to be acquiring my favorite skill of the game, which is Bash. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to it. Just know that once we get there, this run is really going to turn up the cool factor quite a bit. Both players getting a sequence break.
This last part, you can either do this way where the runners bash the projectile twice, or you can bring the frog down here and do a specific setup to make
and
it.
Terra does get it first, but Oshi is right behind. This is very precise timing. It is true 1/60th of a second timing, and gets through without a soft lock. Very nice from Oshi. We'll just be having to hold right for about another 30-35 seconds.
Like a god, making this game look absolutely free. And let's see if he can continue taking his, not only an attempt at Sour Bash, but a very quick and first try attempt at Sour Bash. Stafu, you absolute madman. Not only a precise bash angle on the spider projectile, but getting this ability cell fast enough because you do need it. Good job by Delaire. I believe he got the ability cell. If I'm wrong about that, then I'll eat save anywhere up. On the right, though, Delaire's going for his Sorrow Bash attempts. That bird looks a hair low. Thankfully, he didn't hit the spikes. Steffu was able to pull this off first try, and Delaire got it first try.
Excellent first try.
Yeah. When you do that trick,
Agree. A lot of runners will just save their game before that. You have to save your game before to open the one door, and they'll run through the section, create another save anywhere, and then do it there. But wow, Steffu with the grenade jump leaving.
He is able to catch up any of that over the next couple splits. Nice. He is successfully through the Kuro cutscene skip. Almost looks like nothing happened, and he is
strat to get it because they can't double vashes consistently. Oh, takes a bit of damage right there. It's gonna get up to the ceiling and then grabs it and gets it. First try. Oh, good God, Sky. Just...
Looks good. So he's now making his way back down. Spider has shot, and he is successful. So, despite his worries, that trick went fine.
Yep, nailed it first try. Oh my God, is Shed going for this grenade jump? Oh my God, Shed, you madman! Good Lord. A little bit late on that second try. I think Sky does opt for the mash method. Gets a third try. Really great job by Sky right there.
Just gonna do a little bit of jumping, get that projectile in the right spot, a double bash, another. He tries for another double bash, but he gets the entry, and he's in cleanly. Just needs to avoid dying.
To have 5 health, because it just gives you that room for just mistakes that normally would end up in a death. You can end up surviving.